What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. So before I start my live Twitch stream tomorrow with Dead by Daylight, I wanted to give y'all a little rundown on what the game is all about and that you guys should go play because it's actually pretty fun. Now, what consoles is it on? It's on the PlayStation, it's on the Xbox. I don't know if it's on the Switch. I haven't checked yet, but I know it's on Steam because that's actually where I seen it. My first time ever seen this game was on Steam. Come to find out, it's on all these other platforms. It's cross-platform as well. So that means that you can play with your friends on Xbox and your friends can play with people on Steam and people on Steam can play with PlayStation players. So, and if there is a Nintendo Switch version, then so be it. Add that in there too. They also have a mobile version, but I don't think the mobile version is connected to the console games, but if it is, that's pretty dope too. But that's pretty much how you can play with each other. Now let's go on to get into like the story, gameplay, all that jazz, because that's what we're really here for. I've been playing this game for the past couple of days. I got it Saturday and I haven't put it down since. I've been trying to go back to ESO and it's not happening because this game is addicting and it's fun. So it's a 4-on-1 survival horror game. And yeah, I know that sounds unfair, like 4-on-1, that's kind of unfair. Like what kind of game are you trying to push off on us? Hear me out. The killer is the one and the 4 are the survivors. The survivors can't fight back, but what they can do is try to escape the area that they're in. See, on the survivor side, you guys have to turn on generators and go open the gate and escape. But it sounds simple, right? But it is pretty fucking hard. Some days it can be hard depending on who you're going up against and what kind of ranking they're and how good they are at the game. Sometimes it takes you a long time to fix these generators. Some survivors aren't good with generators. Some survivors are just like pretty much tech wizards when it comes to the generators. But at the end of the game, you can either survive or you can get killed. And that's the killer's job. The killer's job is to hunt down all 4 characters and kill them, either put them on the meat hook or do the little special move where it ends you right then and there and they don't need a special meat hook to put you on. Now, what gathered all these survivors and killers together, where there's this little thing called the entity, and I don't know what it looks like. Some people say it's a Cthulhu type monster. Some people say it's like a spider. And from what I'm getting, it looks like a spider because the way this thing takes up people into the sky, it has like, the legs of a spider. So I'm going with the whole it's a spider. And pretty much he's gathered all these survivors and killers to pretty much for him to feed on. Pretty much he's giving these killers a place where they can practice their crafts, and which is pretty much killing. And these survivors are like in fear, terror, their anxieties through the roof, depressions throughout the roof, and that's what the entity feeds off of. So he's pretty much it, the clown, because it fed off of fear and all that stuff. That's pretty much what the entity feeds off of. So, and he pretty much puts these 4 people into this little area that he done created. He puts 1 killer in there and he lets the games begin. Now, not much has really been said about the entity over the years of what it is, if it'll ever be a playable killer in the game, which I think it would be sooner or later. But until then, we just don't know what it looks like. There has been like journals all throughout the game that you can read from, I guess, the first ever victim to the entity, and he doesn't even know what's going on, but he knows that every time he gets killed, he respawns back at a campfire, and he feels less and less and less himself every time he gets killed. And as we go on and we start learning more lore about the characters and the killers and stuff, you will see that some of the killers weren't really bad people before they were turned into what the fuck they are now. Like, for instance, the plague was just trying to cure her people. She was just trying to cure the sickness of the plague and all that stuff. And by the end of her story, her and her people are all dead due to the plague. Same thing goes for the hag. The hag didn't really hurt nobody. She didn't kill anybody, but people killed her. They were cannibals and they ate off her skin and other people. And she ended up practicing some type of witchcraft because she comes from some type of tribe, and she ends up turning into that. So some of the killers you could actually feel sorry for because they don't want to be killers. Matter of fact, they did not choose this life. The entity scooped them up, turned them into this, and they became what they are, as you see in the game. Like the Wraith. The Wraith was just doing his job. Found out that he was killing people by accident, and he didn't even know. He killed his boss, and now next thing you know, he's running around killing survivors with the spine and skull of his former boss, which is pretty fucked up, but it is what it is because it's pretty bad. But then you got the people like the Trapper, the hillbilly, the clown, the doctor, the nurse. Them motherfuckers are all fucked up in the head. Well, the hillbilly, he's kind of 50-50 because he was raised. Well, he wasn't raised at all. He was just treated like crap his whole life. So, man, him and Leatherface kind of sit in the same realm of, hey, y'all got two hillbillies in the game. They call one the hillbilly and the other one the cannibal. And I'm like, they're both cannibals. They're both hillbillies. So some people be all like, so which one are you talking about? It's kind of hard to decipher the two sometimes when you're trying to explain this game to people that haven't played it yet. But there are characters in the game that have done some fucked up shit, that actually have killed people for fun. And Entity sees that and he was like, oh, I'm gonna scoop y'all up and bring y'all into this game. And of course you got your slasher movie monsters like Freddy Krueger, you got Michael Myers, Leatherface, Silent Hill's Pyramid Head, the Demogorgon from Stranger Things, all that good jazz. So the game is pretty good. I've been playing it all this week, and it's gonna be something I will be streaming a lot on Twitch and YouTube Live, and also with ESO and all that stuff and other games that'll be coming up as well. Now, to end out this video, I would like to, I guess they put out, this is a game that gets updated constantly, because matter of fact, the reason why I downloaded this game is because their recent DLC that I guess hasn't came out yet, but it is coming out, is, I guess it's called the Kill 'Em DLC, because each DLC is a chapter. So some DLCs came out with just a killer, and some DLCs just came out with a killer and a survivor. Also, we got Ash Williams too, and also we got Michael Myers' sister as survivors as well, which is pretty cool. We got I think Left 4 Dead 1, you get the old guy who was like a veteran from the war, and I think that's it. No, you also get that one guy from Nightmare on Elm Street. I forgot his name. I guess he was from the reboot of the series. I don't know, I can't remember. Most of the survivors I really don't dabble into, because I'm more on the killer side than I am on the survivor side. But they all come out in packs. So like some DLC only came out with one killer, and some DLC comes out with a killer and a survivor. Like for instance, the twins, they came in a DLC pack, which was a chapter, and it came with the killer, the twins, and it came with a survivor. So some games are like some DLC is like that, and the one that just came out recently, well, that is coming out recently, it's that type of chapter where it's like a killer and a survivor, and the killer is pretty much a K-pop pop star. His bandmates was killed, and he loved the sound of them chanting his name when they were screaming his name, and he just loves the thrill of killing people. So that's what he does. He kills people. It's kind of a basic backstory. Then the person that comes with them is the manager that he was trying to kill when he did his final crescendo, whatever it was called when I read the lore, and she had got away. Well, the entity was all like, nope. He scooped up both of them, and now they're part of the game. So I'm waiting for the trickster and his manager to come up for DLC, because I do want to play him, because from what I've seen with people using him with the throwing knives and shit, I feel like he's going to be hated a lot, because he can just constantly throw knives. So it's like he will be hated, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people will be crying about it. But besides him, what other kind of movie monsters or slashers I would like to see in this game? I only got a good 3. And I didn't really come up with what kind of style they'll have or what kind of powers they have. I just go off what I've seen in their movies and stuff. Now, I'm not gonna be basic and be like Wolfman, Frankenstein, vampire, not that stuff. That's basic shit. No, I don't really want to see all that. But I would like to see Pinhead from Hellraiser. I would like to see Chucky from Child's Play, and the Bride of Chucky and all that. Now Chucky could be a stretch though, because he's a doll, so it's not much you can really do with a doll. But I've seen what they can do with other characters, so I'm all like, they could probably do what they can, you know what I'm saying. Then number 3, I did say werewolf, no werewolf, vampires, any of that, but there was a werewolf movie that I watched and then that came out in the 90s, and it was very gruesome. I think it was American Werewolf or something. They could do something like that, an American Werewolf, or take something from Stephen King's world of It. I forgot what that one movie was with Satan in it. But we thinking The Howling. That's what I was thinking of, The Howling. I think that's what it was. Those werewolf movies were fucking brutal. So I was like, if y'all had something like that, I could do. But it's the way they would have to do it when it comes down to a werewolf. But what do you guys think? What kind of horror movie monsters or slasher films would you like to see in this game? Or is there any type of I would say urban legend type monsters, or mythical monsters or yokai or any type of monster that you would love to see in this game. Like I said, this game is pretty damn fun. I'm gonna keep playing it. I'm gonna be playing it a lot while also playing other games. Most of these games are gonna hold me over until Resident Evil 8, because I will be streaming the Resident Evil 8 on both sides. So we will just have to wait and see how things go. But other than that, guys, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all tuning in to my channel and all that stuff. But other than that, peace.